Summer League starts for the Chicago Bulls in just a couple days, and we have the plan that has been revealed by Tiago Splitter for the players and himself this Summer League. And then Tiago Splitters also mentions that there will be more changes to the staff coming in the near future. We're going to talk about it all, break it all down. But before we do, you already know you got to hear the music first.
Cognac, gang.
Shot Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys. I'm Cognac Boy Bobby, and I'm holding it down for today's daily episode. So if you're tuned in, like what you're listening to, make sure you go ahead and support the channel the easiest way that you can by doing a simple two-step that doesn't require rhythm. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and join the family. We one of the ones out there. Join the family. Become one of the cool ones. If you ain't there, you a square. Nah, I'm just But hey, let's get into today's content and talk about Tiago Splitter and his plans for the Chicago Bulls. First thing up on the docket is that Tiago Splitter is anticipating coaching 2 games in the Chicago Bulls during the Chicago Bulls Summer League. He pretty much came out there and said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that he wants to set the tone early for the Chicago Bulls, quote unquote, new start, new era into this new rebuild. And one of those things, I want to know, how are you guys feeling about Tiago Splitter coaching 2 games in the Summer League? Are you a fan of it? Do you think it doesn't matter? How do you feel about it? Because the way I look at it is, why not be the leader? Why not go out there and say, you know what? Let me place my hands on these young guys that we have, and let me get a closer evaluation of these said players. We know that Caleb Wilson is highly talented, but let's see how we can challenge him. Let's see how we could utilize him. The same thing goes for Dalen Swain. The same thing goes for, I would say it's another draft pick in Noah Essige. He didn't play for us last year, so let's see how he can go out there and be effective. And I think that Tiago making a decision to go out there and say, all right, bet, let me go get a closer eye on these guys, and let me see how can we utilize these guys enough during Summer League and challenge these guys enough to where we get things rolling during training camp. We get things rolling during the preseason. How can I use some of the things that I saw during Summer League to infuse this talent to the main team for the NBA season? So I think this is a great idea for Tiago Splitter. I think this is something that's necessary for Tiago Splitter and the young Chicago Bulls team, especially for the young guys who's going to get a firsthand experience early to understand what's required of them, how their coach is going to coach them, and how they need to improve their games. He was brought here for player development, and he talked a lot about building relationships. I think what better way than to start building these relationships during practice right now, ahead of Summer League? How do you make adjustments during the game, during Summer League, and how you can move forward with your evaluation process with these young players after Summer League? And then Tiago Splitter has also mentioned that other coaches will be a part of this process, and they all will have an opportunity to coach at least 1 game. So that is Martin Rancic, Henry Domercant, and Austin Dufault. And that's going to be great for the Chicago Bulls. When it came to the said players, Tiago said he's challenging Noah Essige, Caleb Wilson, and Dalen Swain to pretty much lead the way for this young Summer League roster. And I think that is a great way to start this out. Hold these guys to a high level, because there's a high chance that these guys could potentially be in the rotation once the season rolls around. And when it comes to Noah Essige pretty much said this. He said he feels amazing, but said he doesn't know if he's going to plan or if there's a plan in place for him to play all 5 summer league games. But he feels amazing. He's just working through some range of motion things to where he's at 98%. But the range of motion stuff, once he works through that, he'll be able to get to 100% ahead of the actual season and all those other activities that will be taking place. We know that Caleb Wilson came out and said that the goal is simple. Let's go win. And according to Dalen Swain, his teammate, he said that Caleb Wilson has been awesome in practice, knocking down threes and being aggressive, getting to the basket. So that's something we absolutely want to see during summer league. We need to see that. You know what I'm saying? Out of this young prospect, we want him to hit his head on the ceiling that a lot of us believe that he has. And if he falls short of that, it's going to be a little bit disappointing. But if he hits his head on that ceiling and becomes the Chicago Bulls quote unquote KG or a different version of that, which he mapped out, said he believed that it's a bit disrespectful to be compared to KG, but it's hard not to make the comparison if we're being fair. You know what I'm saying? So if he hits his head on that ceiling, it will not be this year. Let's make that clear. But at the same time, if Caleb Wilson hits his head on that ceiling, that's good for the state of Chicago. And now Dalen Swain, the plan for him is to be utilized as a ball handler during summer league. Tiago Splitter came out and said that he watched Dalen Swain closely and like how he can handle the ball, like how he creates for others, gets into the paint, and he has a tight handle. And that is necessary if you are expecting a guy to go out there and be one of the quote unquote ball handlers on your team. We talked a lot about, Patrick Williams not being able to hold on to the in and out. We talked a lot about when Zach LaVine was here on how some of the things that he would do when he would handle the rock. And we talked ad nauseum about, Montes Buzelis being able to counter some of the defense's moves when they try to cut off his right hand, and how Montes Buzelis needs to get stronger and have a tighter handle going to the opposite hand, which is that left hand. So to hear Dalen Swain coming into this and being praised for his ball handling ability, being able to get into the paint and creating for others, is just something that we're going to definitely see and hopefully get to be excited about, because I want to remind everybody, before he had his growth spurt to where he is now, Dalen Swain did mention he was working a lot as a point guard before he had his growth spurt. So that will be awesome to see if you bring him into summer league, and he's going to have a huge opportunity to show that he can handle the rock pretty damn well. I think that's just adding on to the versatility once he plays with the actual team ahead of the season and once the season gets going. And I think that he has the ability. We're just going to see if he's going to be able to put it on wax. Y'all know how I get. I got to see players put it on wax. I love all these guys and how talented they are, but we're going to have to see these guys put it on wax. We can't go off hype. The NBA game is just different than the college game. So we're going to have to see all these guys learn, improve, develop, and help this team reach new heights, man. There's a lot of hype right now surrounding these young fellas and the state of the Chicago Bulls. I got a couple, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to refrain from calling people names, but I got a couple people that's out there being absolutely ridiculous with some of these takes on a team before you even seen them play a game. It's just crazy work to me. But we're going to keep on chugging along. We're going to just toss them to the side, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to see and evaluate this team appropriately. We're not going to act like, or at least I'm not going to act like, everything is going to be perfect game one of the NBA season. I think that we're going to have to take our bumps and bruises, let the body callous a little bit, and then we'll be able to evaluate. It's going to take time. It's going to take a little bit of patience, as much as some of us don't want to admit it, but we will eventually get there and be able to fairly criticize this team. Now, don't get me wrong. If a guy has a bad game, we definitely going to be throwing out the be better, bro. For real. But the criticism might not be so harsh for the young guys, but I will challenge them to be better. Now, if it continues for a long, you know what I'm saying, if it continues for a long period of time, then we really going to start scolding them. You know what I'm saying? We're going to hold them to the fire, but We're going to take this thing and we're going to nurture these young guys, and we're going to see what they can bring to this young basketball team at the end of the day. But hey, let me know how y'all feeling about the plans for Noah Essegay, Caleb Wilson, and Dalen Swain, along with Tiago Splitter, heading into Summer League. Drop those comments down below. Now, before we get up out of here, we got to talk about the more changes coming to the Chicago Bulls staff. Now, according to Casey Johnson and multiple people that's been covering the team, Tiago Splitter said he's not done making tweaks to the Chicago Bulls coaching staff. They mentioned Wes Unseld Jr., Henry Democrat, Kent, Austin Dufault, Martin Rancid, I.D. Williams, and P. Crawford as some of those guys as the developmental personnel that is going to be hanging around. And Tiago Splitter went on to say it's important to keep on guys who know the players well, and a mix of guys who were here and new guys is good. We're not done yet. So I think that is fair to say. And honestly, I like the train of thought. You keep some guys that have some relationships already established with some guys that were left behind from the last head coach, which was Billy Donovan, and then you infuse that knownness, for a lack of a better word, with some newness, and you might be able to formulate a concoction that might feel how you're looking good out there. I'm just saying, sometimes you got to go ahead and try something new. If you was a guy that like vodka and cranberry, maybe you got to switch over to the tequila and pineapple. Maybe you got to go ahead. If they say they ain't got your favorite beverage, you say, you know what? What do you recommend? You try the new thing. Who knows? You might become a fan of the old fashioned. I'm just saying, just to throw it out there. So I think this train of thought from head coach Tiago Splitter is a great way to think about it. Sometimes it's new to, good to have a brand new car. But sometimes it's good to go out there and get that classic vehicle and build it back up, and you roll around nice. And shout out to my people from the South. You ride around in that don't. I'm just saying. Sometimes it's okay. Now, I know there's going to be some people that come back and say, well, Bobby, I thought you wanted a brand new car. I did as the head coach. I'm cool with the coaching staff. The guy that's going to coach, I believe in. That's Tiago Splitter. The guys that need to be developing these young players, that's going to be on Tiago. If these players not developing, I'm blaming Tiago. We got the new car, but the additional accessories, we good. We gonna tailor this puppy up. We gonna fix this baby up. You know what I'm saying? Give him a little fresh linen suit. Y'all know my grandma tried to tell me I need to wear a linen suit. I said, Grandma, don't nobody wear linen suits no more. Nobody wear linen suits no more. What? What we doing, baby? But I think it's going to be real good, man, to see who Tiago Splitter brings around the Chicago Bulls and help these young players develop, man. We want to see more out of Leonard Miller. I know there are some people that don't want to see Rob Dillingham. I do. We're gonna see how do you go out there and hopefully develop some of these young guys on a summer league team. In case of an injury, you have an opportunity to bring on a Donovan Atwell, bring on a Jalen Sellers, bring on a Toby Awaka. You know what I'm saying? To help the team. You know what I'm saying? And they may not be as good as they was, but have a next man up mentality to where you're not, I want to say, not really missing the beat. You're still playing the same way of basketball. You're still getting some contributions for one of these young players. And you'll see if Montes Buzelis can raise himself to another level. You want to see the continual growth of a Caleb Wilson throughout the season. And the same thing goes for Dalen Swain and Noah Essegay. It's a young team. I'm going to hold Tiago to the development of this young team. You want to see at least after the halfway mark, how well can they compete? Hell, at the start of the season, the talk is we're going to play hard and we're going to play defense. Defense has to be your calling card to receive time on this team. We're going to have a front row view of it all, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to a couple games this season. I got to see Caleb Wilson and Montes Buzelis in transition up close. That's just me. That's just me. If some people still boycotting, hey, that's on you, brother or sister. That's on you. But Bobby going to a couple games this season. I got to. I have to. It's a must. I ain't even gonna lie to you. It's a must that I show up to some of these games that the Chicago Bulls are gonna be in and watch these guys up closely for sure. But hey, that is it for me today, y'all. I appreciate y'all for joining me for another episode, man. Before y'all get up out of here, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on your notification bell as well, man. Now we on the road to 20K. 20K. We trying to reach that, man. So make sure you go ahead and don't freeload. Make sure you support the channel in the easiest way as possible. Don't forget to drop your comments down in the comment box below. But hey, man, I appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all always see red, and y'all already know I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one for sure. Peace.
Cognac.